You know how sometimes you need to buy something, you know how you have to be spending the money in it even though you don't want to, but still resisting the idea of doing so, and out of nowhere that exact same thing falls in your lap out of nowhere? Never happens to you? Well, me neither, folks. This is Fernando doing our video for Modern Survivalist. Yet that's exactly what happened just a few weeks ago. The thing is this: I bought a new TV, right? An LG TV, and the lady from the store calls and tells me, your new TV is ready to be delivered. You're gonna be receiving it tomorrow along with your new phone. And I told her, wait a minute, I didn't order any phone. I just bought a TV. Thought they were messing up the order. And she said, no, it's a gift. That's what she said. And I thought, okay, that's pretty nice. And I thought about asking, by the way, what phone is it? And she said, it's an LG G6. I had no idea what an LG G6 was. So of course I went online and just to check it out, see what it was all about. Given that I was needing a new phone, but I thought it would be one of those cheaper phones. I was never expecting it to be a very good phone, which it actually is. It's a great phone. It has lots of, it's pretty much what I would have bought eventually if I hadn't received it for free. Has pretty much all of those specs that I was looking forward in a new phone. I've been trying to get a new phone for, if you've been following the channel, several months, maybe over a year now, talking about how my Note 2 phone was already pretty old and a little bit dated. This is exactly what I needed. The LG G6 has a big screen, which I didn't want to be giving up in a new phone. It even has a bigger screen than my Note. This is a 5.7-inch screen. Bigger, yet interestingly enough, the footprint of the phone is smaller. It's a smaller phone than the Note. They achieved that by moving the home button from the front to the back. I think this is one of the first flagship phones that actually does that moves the home button all screen and the home button there. Not only that, it's placed very nicely down right in the center where it's very intuitive for you to put your finger. It also has another thing that I was wanting in a new phone, the fingerprint detection. You just touch it there, and the Samsung S8 has that as well, but it's placed like there on the side of the camera, which is just awful, and you end up touching the camera all the time rather than finding that. Here in the center, very intuitive, you just touch it there, perfect. I also wanted the phone to be waterproof. My old Note was not waterproof. Recently, with the flooding in Texas, there was this story about a guy that they still had signal, they still had network, but the phone was not waterproof, got wet, and would not work, so he couldn't use the phone. From a survival perspective, your phone, it really should be waterproof at this point. It's a pretty big plus. This one is waterproof and dustproof IP68. Fantastic, just what I wanted. It has the, I have it. It's not like a ruggedized phone or anything like that. I did buy the Spigen case, which is this thin case that I added, and I've dropped it a couple of times already from a pretty high, dropped it from a pretty highly placed shelf. No damage whatsoever. I also added this is a tempered glass screen protector. This gives it all the rigidity that I really need. I used to have the R-Box Defender case in my phone, but I realized that my wife, she has a much slimmer case on her phone, and she's dropped it numerous times without any damage. So I got to the point where I realized that even with a thin case, if the phone itself is tough enough, you shouldn't be having a problem. And as I said, I dropped it a few times already, no problem whatsoever. Between this and the tempered glass, besides the screen itself, this is Gorilla Glass 3 on the front, and here in the cameras, this is Gorilla Glass 5. The cameras, by the way, are some of the best in the market. So I think it's like an 18 megapixel camera, 16, I don't know what it is, but it really has a good resolution, beautiful pictures. Now the other one is a wide angle camera, which it's kind of a new thing in some of the phones. Not many of them have it. I think it has one of the best camera settings today, and I find that very useful. It takes some beautiful pictures with that. Very useful as well for taking closer shots where you want to catch more, have a wider angle. works great. It also has another thing that I really wanted, was the ability to use an external SD card for extra storage. Boom, I have it here with, I added, it has 32 gigabytes of internal storage, plus I added that SD card with 128 extra gigabytes. So all the space, all the storage that I could possibly want. Battery is 3,200 milliamperes, which is good. It's not a huge battery, but gets you through the day without a problem. It's a wireless charging in the American version of this phone, and it uses one of the new USB-C ports. So I mean, it is kind of like a flagship phone right now. Just came out a few months ago from this year, and again, I think it's like 400 or 450 bucks. I mean, if you're looking to buy a phone, I'm gonna be leaving the link below there in Amazon, because it's really a good phone. I've been using it for some time now, loving it. With this speaking case, I think it's light armor, but could not be happier with it. Finally, another thing that I really wanted and just could not find in a new phone, at least it was pretty tough, was the built-in FM radio. Not using network or data, just a real FM radio. This phone has a built-in real deal FM radio. You just have to plug in the headphones, because it uses the wire as an antenna. But even if there's no, that's kind of a big thing from a survival point of view, having an FM radio in your phone. If everything fails, if there's nothing working out there, if you have an FM radio, you're going to be catching some signal and knowing what the deal is out there, what's going on, keeping up with the latest news. That was something that I wanted. That was something that out of nowhere dropped in here with this phone. Even the color, black, was exactly what I would have bought myself. So all very happy with it, and just love it when you didn't spend a single cent in something that was kind of oh man, it was 400, 500 bucks in a new phone. Didn't like the idea at all, especially because after a few years, these things. But I mean, latest Android operating system, one of the latest processors out there. I think it's just like a notch under the best one currently available. But all the processing speed I could possibly want. Great phone, and I definitely recommend for anyone looking to buy a new one, especially something that is like a good flagship phone that does everything. Beautiful screen, beautiful pictures, and not costing a whole lot of money. Folks, gonna be all for now. Remember, subscribe, take care, see you on our next video.